Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special battlefield report. Zelensky's victory plan emerges, Ukraine to replace U.S. troops in Europe, escalating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. U.S. urgently deploys THAAD system for support. EU urgently partners with oil-rich countries to stabilize the Middle East since May. The U.S. aircraft carrier provides escort. Israel fights its most expensive war in history. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy has unveiled his long-secret victory plan covering multiple aspects, including NATO membership, military aid, and strategic deterrence. This plan is seen as a cornerstone for future negotiations with Russia and has already elicited positive responses from Western allies, particularly the UK. The plan Zelenskyy presented to the Ukrainian parliament mainly consists of 5 points. 1. NATO membership. Zelenskyy's strategy demonstrates high diplomatic wisdom. Instead of directly demanding a NATO membership, he's taken a more pragmatic and gradual approach. He calls on Western countries to first recognize Ukraine's status as a normal democratic European country and request NATO to extend an invitation to Ukraine. And this approach cleverly avoids specific timelines and conditions, leaving flexibility for future negotiations. Zelenskyy also subtly hints at Ukraine's desire to join the EU, showcasing Ukraine's strategic intent to fully integrate into the Western system. The timing of this plan's release coincides with subtle changes in the international situation. U.S. President Biden is actively consulting with allies about the possibility of inviting Ukraine to join NATO. Ukraine's ambassador to NATO, Natalia Galabarenko, has expressed Ukraine's urgent expectation for Biden to achieve this goal before leaving office, viewing it as an important political legacy of the U.S. President's term? Even the pro-Russian Slovak Prime Minister made thought-provoking comments on the 16th, suggesting that the war in Ukraine might end soon due to ongoing discussions about Ukraine joining NATO. 2. Defense. While Zelenskyy doesn't expect NATO to immediately assume full defense commitments, he does request substantial military aid from the West. Specifically, he asked for training and equipping well-prepared reserve brigades for Ukraine, strengthening Ukraine's air defense systems, helping Ukraine shoot down Russian drones and missiles, investing in Ukraine's defense production, lifting restrictions on the use of long-range weapons, providing appropriate long-range strike capabilities, providing real-time satellite intelligence and data. Zelenskyy emphasized that Ukraine should have the right to strike Russian military targets. And notably, this section also includes a secret appendix, which may contain specific plans to escalate Ukrainian long-range strikes. 3. Deterrence. Zelenskyy wants Ukraine to acquire strong strategic deterrence capabilities, but clearly states that this deterrence doesn't include nuclear weapons. His goal is for Ukraine to have the ability to launch devastating conventional strikes against Russia in the future if Russia decides to continue its aggression. It's worth noting that the level of protection Zelenskyy is requesting is lower than the U.S. nuclear umbrella that NATO countries enjoy. This position can be seen as a concession, making it easier for Ukraine to meet NATO member states' accession criteria. 4. Strategic economic potential. Zelenskyy points out that Ukraine has enormous resources, especially after reclaiming all its territories, including lithium mines in Donbass and critical areas like uranium and titanium. He believes that if allies help reclaim occupied territories, they will ultimately benefit as well. 5. Post-war security framework. Zelenskyy proposes that once Ukraine achieves victory, the U.S. can gradually withdraw from Europe, with the experienced and powerful Ukrainian military taking over. Overall, Zelenskyy calls for Ukraine to be viewed as a normal country, given the guarantees typically enjoyed by other European countries, which help elevate Ukraine's position in negotiations with Russia. This is a carefully crafted agreement that doesn't exceed Ukraine's capabilities, but cleverly offers benefits to allies to facilitate the agreement. Many European countries may accept this proposal, with the UK already considering how to implement it. Zelenskyy recently discussed the frontline situation with the UK Chief of Staff and explored how to strike Russian targets deeply at both operational and strategic levels. And the UK is also strategizing for the victory plan, involving aspects such as arms supply, personnel training, and high-tech strike methods. In this process, the US is urging European countries to increase military spending behind the scenes, with the UK taking the lead and other European countries following suit. Zelenskyy's move has successfully mobilized various parties. The key now is the interaction between Europe and the U.S. after Trump takes office. Recently, although various countries have begun to persuade Ukraine to negotiate with Russia, Zelenskyy is unwilling to admit defeat too early. The proposal of the victory plan is to boost European morale, conveying the message that since they persevered this far, they can't give up halfway. The United States deploys THAAD air defense system to Israel, demonstrating the strength of the them. On October 1st, Iran launched a missile attack on Israel, causing the entire population to urgently seek shelter in bunkers Although Israel's critical infrastructure remained undamaged and its air force maintained full combat readiness, such provocation was clearly unacceptable to Israel. In response, the U.S. Department of Defense announced on the 16th that it would provide Israel with a Terminal High Altitude Area Defense THAAD system. This system is specifically designed to counter various ballistic missiles with an interception range of 150 to 200 kilometers, using a hit-to-kill approach to destroy incoming missiles. While the THAAD system has limited combat experience, its reliability has been proven in multiple tests. Its first combat deployment was in January 2022, when the UAE successfully used it to intercept missiles fired by Yemen's Houthi rebels. More impressively, in 18 interception tests conducted by the U.S. Army from 2006 to 2019, 14 achieved perfect interception results, excluding 4 tests that couldn't proceed due to target issues. A retired U.S. general even called it the most advanced air defense system in the world. A complete THAAD system includes 6 trucks equipped with launchers totaling 48 missiles, along with advanced radar and command systems. Its cost ranges between $2 billion to $3.3 billion. Sadly, the U.S. Army only has 7 such systems, with some already deployed in South Korea and Guam. The fact that they are willing to lend one to Israel and send over 100 personnel to assist with its operation demonstrates the high level of importance the U.S. places on Israel. So how powerful is the THAAD system? The aforementioned retired general explained that Israel's Iron Dome system is mainly used against rockets and low-altitude missiles. The Arrow system targets high-altitude missiles, and while the THAAD system intercepts at both ENDU and extra-atmospheric altitudes, forming a comprehensive defense network. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, the THAAD system has already arrived in Israel. The U.S. Air Force used about 10 C-17 military transport aircraft, taking several days to transport the system from Texas to its destination. In recent years, U.S. military investment in the Middle East has been increasing. Military operations in just the past year have cost $22 billion. Israel receives $3.8 billion in military aid from the U.S. annually, and since the Hamas attack on October 7th last year, the total U.S. security assistance to Israel has reached $17.9 billion. The Israeli side estimates that by the end of next year, the total cost of this conflict could reach $66 billion, about 12% of Israel's GDP. Israel's finance minister admits that this could be the longest-lasting and most expensive war in the country's history. In addition to providing the THAAD system, the U.S. has taken a series of measures to support Israel. These include deploying 2 aircraft carriers to waters near Israel to deter Iran, sending warships to protect merchant vessels from attacks by Yemen's Houthi rebels, and helping Israel thwart an Iranian missile attack in April. A U.S. Department of Defense spokesperson emphasized, these actions fully demonstrate the United States' firm commitment to defending Israel, while also aiming to protect U.S. citizens in Israel from the threat of Iranian missile attacks. With the deployment of the THAAD system, Israel's air defense capabilities will undoubtedly be significantly enhanced. Moving forward, we will wait and see if this advanced air defense system can play a crucial role in future conflicts. That's all for today's special report. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay tuned for more of Russia's finest military comedy. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your daily dose of chaos.